Hey guys, I'm Lucky, but you already know that if you watch the videos. So I wanted to do something different. I want to go through the videos and give you my thoughts, comments, stories. So the first video we're doing tonight is of our first episode, Power Rangers from 2017, and me and Sean just like this movie. And we don't hide it from what we hear. But hopefully you guys enjoy this.
Welcome to the Hit or Miss Show. We're going to talk about Power Rangers. We're just going to have a casual conversation about Power Rangers. I'm the big dog,
I'm Lucky.
and let's dive right into the shitty movie.
This movie was shit.
Yeah. It was the kind of shit that you would put on for somebody, like a kid that misbehaved.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got all F's in school here, watch the Power Rangers movie.
So we get to the point of the video where we're talking about how it lied on the cover and saying it was the first blockbuster. Well, no, it wasn't. Logan came out like, I don't know, a month or two before it, and Logan was such a better movie, in my opinion.
I mean, like, the thing that makes me upset the most is right off rip. As soon as you buy the movie, they lie on the front of the movie. It says right here, the first great blockbuster of the year. Logan came out a week before that.
Yeah. And
Logan did so much better.
And killed it. Yeah, and then they say it was loosely based on the TV show, the pilot TV show.
They got loosely right. About the only thing they got right was name and colors, wasn't it?
Yeah, loosely, like putting loosely is like taking your dog for a walk and just open the front door and let him run. That's the equivalent of this movie. It was bad. I don't know what Saban was thinking. Maybe it was just his way of trying to make a quick buck, even though he didn't really make any money on this.
It was rushed.
Yeah, it was rushed. There was no commercialism for it.
Yeah.
So we get to the point in the episode where we're talking about toys. I think I told Big Dog that I had a Red Ranger Nightlight. He had some kind of toy. Then I said, yeah, back in the day, Kmart Layaway used to be the shit. And like growing up, I never really liked Kmart, but the Layaway was pretty good. But towards the end, it's just like I don't know. Yeah, it's just something that always stuck out with me. I don't know why.
Toys came out way before the movie did.
Yo, speaking of the toys, I used to have a nightlight of the Red Ranger when I was a kid.
Nice. I had the Red Ranger toy where you flip the belt buckle and the head would flip around. You push the belt buckle in and his head would flip.
On a different note, Kmart Layaway used to be the shit.
Yeah. Dude, Kmart. Dude, you want to go down a nostalgia line? Dude, Kmart was awesome. I actually bought my 64 at a Kmart.
Yeah?
In 96, yeah. My dad was actually being nice for a change and actually bought me one. Of course, I busted my ass working around the house for like the whole summer until it came out. That's how you get your kids to do something. You tell them you're going to buy something and then wait 6 months to a year to buy it for them. Because you know what else that came out that year? The PlayStation.
You made the mistake.
Yeah, I know. Well, GoldenEye was the only redeeming factor of Nintendo 64.
I like I like Star Fox 64.
Yeah,
Mario
Super
64.
They made a Power Rangers 64 game, but it's dubbed as one of the worst 64 games of all time. That and Superman 64.
Are the ones who made the game the ones who made the movie?
It might have. I mean, this movie did have 4 writers in it.
There you go. See, and like, even on the front cover, this looks like a cheap Photoshop.
Even the cover looks like it was just slapped together at the last minute.
So at the specific point we're at right now, we are talking about the cover and how it just kind of looks like it was slapped together at the last minute. But I will give them credit. Excuse me. The chess pieces had like a little galaxy swirling around in it, and it like really caught my eye. So good job on that one. It's one of the few good things I have to say about this movie.
So yeah, it just
a little side note. As you saw, Big Dog just adjusted himself. When we first started, I know you've heard this story from us before, but when we first started, we had a kitchen table and we were sitting, it was like a desk, a giant desk, and we would sit behind it. And to hold up our camera before we got the tripod, to hold up my iPhone, we would get a milk crate, get something else, get like a can of full soda, and put the camera on it to hold it. And it just kind of like angled at it like that. You know, it was our first attempt. I don't think we did that bad. We achieved the ultimate goal. Yeah, it's just, I'm so glad we went to the couch, because that was just ridiculous. When we first started this, Sean wanted to do like 2 hours. I'm like, no, bro, we gotta do this in like 20 minutes, because I can't just sit here. And like, after the first episode, he agreed. Actually, before we shot the first episode, obviously, he agreed. And yeah, that's how we ran it thus far.
it's an alien ship.
Oh, that alien ship was tight. Goldar was lame.
Oh my god. Not that he wasn't very good to begin with from the show, but at least...
I mean, in the movie, he was a badass, but, like, he was gloopy.
Gloopy, yeah, why?
Yeah, what's the point of that?
If you're going to use Goldar, you should just use the original stock footage from the show.
Now, that being said...
So, we're at the point where we start talking about the spaceship and Goldar. This is another thing I will say about the spaceship. It was pretty tight. Like I said, I ain't got too many good things to say about this movie, but that is one of them. The spaceship was pretty tight. And on to Goldar, you've heard it from the last video, the one that led up to this one, me deciding exactly what I was going to do. But you heard me say that he's gloopy, and that's what he was. He was just melted gold. He looked like a walking giant snot, golden snot. Just it was quite gross. And yeah, I mean, it looked badass. Don't get me wrong. It just looked gloopy, and it just kind of threw me off. Made it a little tacky. Even though I said I thought it was cool. It's a weird mixed thing, emotions I got for it, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's see what else we got.
There were some good parts about this movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the whole I just milked the cow, and Jason's like, you just milked him.
Yeah.
So he basically jerked off a bull.
Yeah. Or like when Trini was telling her family that she's a superhero, and her mom makes her take a piss test. The only logical adult in the movie.
And there was points in the movie where, like, it was just weird because it wasn't an easy transition. It
was.
But they did do Zoran justice in this thing.
The panoramic thing was way better than the old tube.
And here's another good thing. They did do Zoran justice, like in the old cartoons. They had him like he was a giant head in a glass tube or crystals or something, and that never really resonated with me when I was a kid. But how they did it on the movie, where he was kind of like, it was just this one giant screen that went like this, and his face was on it, and it would move around. It just gave him a little bit more motion, and I don't know. I liked it better, and so did Sean, so. Also known as Big Dog.
The globe thing from the show.
Yeah.
When
What about when Jason bitch slaps the bully? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great. Or when he did to Rita and the Zord.
Yeah.
The mighty Megazord. And
That's how she got on the moon.
And what did that mighty Megazord do? Trip and fall.
First thing.
Dude, that'd be like Superman fighting Lex Luthor, and he gets his cape snagged on, like, a tree branch or something, or whatever.
You know, most of these superheroes met where we met, school.
Yeah, kindergarten.
Oh, we met in kindergarten. They didn't.
And we had more chemistry than they did.
Well, you know.
And whatever you do, don't send these guys to save the world.
So when you're in trouble, just to clarify, who are you going to call? My suggestion, not the Power Rangers. Because they destroyed half the town. They fucking were shooting into a crowd, for Christ's sakes. And after they get the fucking Megazord, which you couldn't see half the fucking thing because it was in a fucking... You couldn't see it put together, because when it was put together, it was fucking being thrown into lava. And all you saw was just... Don't call these guys. Their first fucking move, they tripped on themselves. They fucking tripped on themselves. I can't fucking believe it.
Please, they do more damage than they did good.
They destroyed like half the fucking town. It's like, what the fuck?
You know who I'd call before I call these guys? Darkwing Duck. Or Underdog.
A cat.
A
mouse.
Think of the lamest hero that you would rather send to save the city than the Power Rangers in this movie. They destroyed an entire town. And the best way to save people was to shoot at them.
Yeah.
I'm not making that up, people. Kimberly, in one scene, actually shoots at pedestrians. She was aiming at the putties, but...
the pedestrians happen to be in the way.
Yeah. They don't worry about civilian casualties. It's okay. Saban will get more extras.
What about when the chick just starts hacking her hair off, and in the next scene it looks perfectly done?
Oh my god, yeah. Wouldn't that be nice if that would happen to us in real life? I think that's where most of the budget for the movie went, was fixing her hair.
Shit, I tried doing my mohawk a couple months ago. I screwed it all up.
I can't. My mom is like 5'10". I'm sorry, 5'10". She's like 5 foot nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got too tall for her to cut my hair, I started going to a barber shop to get it cut, because she couldn't, even sitting down in a chair for her to cut my hair, I was still too tall for her. But Billy was the only Power Ranger that was relatable.
Yeah, he was actually closest to the actual guy too.
Yeah.
To the
series. Original, yeah. David Yost played the original.
Right.
And nerdy, socially awkward, outcast, but this guy, I mean, a lot of the actors in this movie sucked. But he was still pretty good as far as a character. But there is no character development much in this movie. Matter of fact, Zordon hones it in that they have to come together and work together as a team.
Right. Oh, that's kind of cute. I didn't notice that till now. The most tiny, the
catchphrase
on the bottom of the catchphrase.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's morphin' time. I like how on the back of it says, "Nostalgia has never felt more phenomenal."
Man, that's lame. If you're gonna come up with a word, come up with one that's all right.
I mean, Ninja Turtles used Turtle-tastic, but it worked in the 80s. I like how in this movie they don't have morphers. They have to go into the morphing grid.
Yeah.
However, they said in order for them to morph, they had to go into a morphing grid. And there was one scene where Billy stops Zach and Jason from fighting and morphs.
Right, for like 30 seconds.
So basically, everything they say is utter bullshit.
Man, what about them fucking putties?
Oh my god, they look like Graveler from Pokemon.
Ah, it was just ridiculous.
Okay, in the show, they weren't much better. I mean, they were wearing spandex and
with a
gray
bullseye.
Yeah. In the later series, when Lord Zed got in there, they put a bullseye on their chest, and Sordon's like, in order to defeat these new putties, you have to hit him in the chest.
Yeah, and they had it was a footprint or something.
Yeah. I'm like...
Kick me here.
Yeah. The most dangerous villain in the world makes the world's easiest henchman. You might as well just have a kick me sign on it.
Right. Repeatedly.
Yeah. But yeah, they, like, there's another scene where Zack takes the Zord out for a joyride.
Right.
And before that, Alpha's like, oh, yeah, they won't work without your armor. Again, yeah, they're doing the opposite of what they're telling them.
Right.
Telling us.
He takes it for a joyride in broad daylight.
Yeah. Why?
And now we get to Alpha. He looks nothing, absolutely nothing. No, I think he's got that little visor, but besides that, that's it. You know, that little thing that goes around? But besides that, that's it. He looks nothing like the old show. Excuse me. It's obviously, I didn't expect him to sound the same, but I wasn't impressed with that either. Sorry, whoever voiced him. And like in this particular part of the movie, we're talking about how one of the kids take the robot for a ride in broad daylight, and I said, well, it's kind of Alpha's fault. Go with me on this one. You tell teenagers that they're fucking superheroes. Then you show them these cool ass fucking vehicles. Then you tell them you can't touch? Come on now. Use a little bit of common sense.
To be fair, that's kind of Alpha's fault.
Yeah, he should never have showed it to
Don't
him.
show children a new toy and say, oh, but you can't touch.
Yeah, right? That's like telling people don't push the giant red button.
Right.
Why do they even have a giant red button? They should just make it gray like the rest of the buttons so nobody would push it. Push the giant gray button. It's next to 3 other giant gray buttons. But seriously though,
one makes the coffee, one blows up the world,
yeah.
the other one calls my Uber.
Yeah, right? It's like Spaceballs, and they had like the Mr. Coffee
Yeah.
and Mr. Sonar, and but yeah, this was just bad CGI, bad acting, bad everything. I mean, I didn't come into this feeling nostalgic except for like Billy and the way they had the panoramic view of Zordon. That was pretty much it.
Oh, look.
Don't you walk away from me, guys. I can only go so far in this panoramic view.
What type of animal is that supposed to be?
I think that might be the...
That's Zack's.
Yeah, that's like, he had the Mastodon. Okay, first of all, the Mastodon wasn't during dinosaurs. It was during the so-called Age of Mammals.
Oh, this movie? At the beginning?
Yeah. Because you have like a Mastodon and you have a saber-toothed tiger.
Right. Actually, yeah, you have a good point. Because at the beginning, when they're explaining to him, you're like, no, I'm sure there were still dinosaurs in Age of the Mammals. So that never made
The
sense.
Age of the Mammals came out like after the dinosaurs died off, though.
I don't think so.
I don't know, but they couldn't get a timeline right in this fucking movie.
That's true.
I mean, in the show, it said after 10,000, Rita comes out of her little space dumpster and says, after 10,000 years, I'm finally free. In the movie, it was 66 million years in the past. So,
Yeah, make up your guys' mind.
pick a timeline, people, and stick to it. Jason, the original Jason, and the original Tommy, well, they didn't even have Tommy in this movie except for a cameo, but of course, then again, in their defense, Tommy didn't come out until like halfway through the first season as a villain.
Right, this was supposed to be based off the first.
Pilot episode,
Right.
which they had a cameo of both Jason and Tommy in the city running away. Yeah, our original Power Rangers running away from danger. Great.
So, like, this movie just is kind of depressing because, like, the story was there.
It was like two stories trying to be one.
Right.
Does that make sense?
kind of.
Because you had like the Rita Zordon story, then you had the adult teenagers story, and then you had Rita and Goldar's story. So you had like 3 stories in one. But they had 4 writers, and it was almost like they could have found a way to put a 4th storyline in this. They would have. And they were trying to make, like, in the beginning of the movie, they were trying to make a connection with Jason and his dad, which went nowhere. They had 2 scenes where they were trying to talk to each other. And you know what happened? It went nowhere. Like I said, no character development, no nothing. It sucked. So yeah, I mean,
what was your favorite Power Ranger growing up?
I was an oddball. I like the weird ones, like the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, and
I've always liked.
and the later one, the Alien Rangers or the Zeo Rangers. They had the Gold Ranger, which was played by the original Jason. Yeah. Could you just imagine the Power Rangers as old horror bad guys? Like, you get Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Leatherface, throw Pinhead in there from Hellraiser. Then who plays Zordon? Jigsaw.
There you go.
Have him come out with his little tricycle.
Power Rangers want to play a game.
What lies before you is the keys that you need to your escape. I mean, to save the world. Sorry, I was doing something else. Don't worry about what I was doing before. It was... Just watch Saw. Lionsgate put this movie out.
Everyone surprised me because Lionsgate's got a lot of good films, like Hulk versus
Saw.
all the Saws.
Yeah. This must have been their charitable write-off for the year because it was bad. It was the kind of bad... It was just bad. I mean, even they made references to other movies like Die Hard and Transformers, which is kind of funny because he sold franchise rights to Hasbro a year later after this movie was made.
So basically, it bombed so bad it put a permanent mark on the Power Rangers for Stoner.
Yeah. So Bond's like, okay, I'm going to give it to Hasbro and see what they can do.
Right, because we tried Disney.
Yeah, we tried Disney. He tried himself. You know, I mean, you had 3 movies to get it right.
I liked the Ivan Ooze one.
Yeah, at least he was an original bad guy. I mean, they didn't have to bring back, like, Rita. I mean, hell, Rita was even a cameo in the original movie.
Right.
But it came up with a whole new bad guy. Here, they just recycled Goldar and Rita. And they could even do that right. They made... Bandai of America made a shit ton of toys for it. And
They made fucking chalk, didn't they?
yeah, sidewalk chalk here in America.
That's crazy.
And it was... I mean, the original show is based off the Super Sentai series from Japan.
Really?
Yeah, what they did was they'd have the American actors come in and do all the fight scenes, and then they'll add the Japanese stock footage over it.
Oh, okay.
So basically, they were fighting air, and then they would add like the putties and all that stuff in later on.
I bet they felt like fools kicking that air and doing nothing.
Yeah, right. And then when I had the Super Nintendo, I had the Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers video game. Mm-hmm. And it was actually not bad. You got 5 of the Rangers, which is kind of funny because the White Ranger is not even in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers video game.
Right.
But yeah, it was just... It needed a lot of work. It needed time to heal. I am looking forward to seeing what Hasbro is going to do with the franchise.
Well, I mean, they did all right for G.I. Joe, at least the first one.
Yeah, but the second one has a lot to be desired. I mean, The Rock and Bruce Willis couldn't even save it. So yeah, I mean, if when Hasbro comes out with their Power Rangers, they are in the works of making it as we speak. So when they do come out with it, I might go watch it just because it's nostalgia. I mean, we're idiots. We'll watch these '90s movie remakes from bygone era.
Well, I mean, we did for Ninja Turtles.
We did it for Ninja Turtles. We did it for X-Men. X-Men. Well, X-Men wasn't. They came out during the superhero era in the early 2000s, but
well, it didn't come out then, but that's when it started getting.
That's when they made the movies because Spider-Man came out before that, and
right with Tobey Maguire.
And then X-Men came out that same year, but later on, and Fantastic Four.
Right, that was when the first comic book craze was first starting to come in.
Yeah, and they say that, and before that, they were all cheesy, and Spider-Man said they were the ones that were going to save the franchise, and I think Saban was trying to think of that for 2017 now. If they would have came out with this during the superhero craze of the early 2000s, it probably would have had better reception.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. It's nostalgia.
Right, and I'm sure there's some people who actually like the movie.
Yeah. I couldn't.
It could have been better.
Yeah. If they would have done more, if they had more time, if they had more research behind it, not 4 different writers writing 4 different storylines in a movie, it would have been better. But this movie gave me a headache twice. First time we watched it straight through. The second time I had to take notes on it. So, any last thoughts we have for?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it, man.
Let us know what your favorite Ninja Turtles. Yeah, let us know who your favorite Ninja Turtle is. So seriously, let us know what you enjoyed from the Power Rangers. If you watched it growing up, or if you came in much later in the series, let us know.
Right, and as always, please like, share,
subscribe. We got
comment.
We got some things we're working on.
Right, our next episode's about
talking about Deadpool,
which I'm a big Deadpool fan.
Love Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this has been Lucky.
Before we go, like I said, if there's anything you want us to talk about,
put down in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. But yeah, this is definitely our miss list item for the week.
Yeah, this ends up on our miss list.
And honestly, if I could, I'd round them all up and blast them off into outer space like they did with Rita.
Bitch, slap them off. Pow! Pow! Pow!
So, with that being said, tune in next time. This is the Big Dog.
And I'm Lucky.
Alright, guys. We just finished this clip. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a good time making it. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.